came in the mail today? Let's see. Bill, 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 trunk lines, Game Informer. Ooh, what's this? It's a letter from Ir Alcine. I bet I know who it is. I'm gonna open it right now. Ah, I was right. Let's read it.
Dear Danny, the other day I was just browsing through the internet when I noticed that there are a lot of lists for the best movies ever made. I was just wondering, what are some of the worst movies ever made? Do you think you could find out for me? And thank you for your time. Sincerely, Martin De Palma.
That's a very interesting question, Mr. De Palma. For me personally, I would have to say Baby Geniuses. Oh, I can't stand that movie. My reasons for disliking this film include how the established universe makes no sense, how the story itself is really stupid, how the jokes and slapstick are not funny and oftentimes really, really repetitive, how the visual effects are terrible, and how it's a waste of great talent that includes the actors and the director, who had previously done A Christmas Story. So that's what I would personally pick as the worst movie ever. However, I don't think that opinion alone will suffice. That is why I've decided to go on an adventure and ask all of my friends what they think is the worst movie ever. Wish me luck, guys. Hi, Snoopy. You want to come with me on an adventure? Come on, let's go on an adventure. So tell me, in your opinion, what do you consider the worst movie ever made and why?
Well, one of the worst movies I have ever seen is Wanderlust. It had a poor plot, unlikable characters, and nudity from all walks of life. Overall, I think you should skip this flick.
Worst movie ever made, eh? Freddy SFR07 that was made in fucking Britain in 1990 something. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Animation wise, it's decent, but like the story and writing is something you'd expect out of the writers of Mario, who were probably fucking high off their asses when they came up with it. It's essentially just about a fucking frog and the British Secret Service and rollerblading Nazis. It makes no sense even by American standards today. In the American version, James Earl Jones was the voice actor, narrator person. Uh, for movie buffs, you should be screaming in pain.
I would say the movie 2012. And reasons for that is because it completely over exaggerated the whole 2012 thing, and it completely lied about the whole Mayan calendar thing as well. The characters were very unsympathetic, and while the special effects were very nice, the acting was alright. The rest of it was plain garbage, and I really hated it. Maybe not hated it, but I just completely thought it was really crap.
Scream 4 because the beginning was just utter filler. The jokes were really terrible. I mean, I didn't laugh at any of them. And plus, it's pretty much predictable what's going to happen. You know, he's going to die. It's not really what's going to happen next. It's just pretty much predictable. And that's why.
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. I know that sounds really cliche, but I have my reasons for once. It felt more like a horror movie than a romance drama, because you know the last part where Bella's getting bitten by death. You could just do that off screen. Don't just because there's blood doesn't mean this is Oscar moment. Use it when necessary. And I think they're trying too hard to be dramatic. Like, for example, like the scene with the war, the wolves are trying to declare war. It's like, I'm gonna fight you. But I mean, it sounded more like a kids on a playground rather than wolves declaring war or something. And of course, the most obvious is the idiocy of the characters. Like, oh my God, Bella, you're pregnant. It's the chicken, right? It's the chicken. So. I don't know, but I mean, just because it's, but there's some stuff I kind of like about it. Like, I thought it was kind of cute in some parts and all that, but overall, really cheesy, really stupid, really blood boiling movie for me.
One movie I can't stand is Beverly Hills Chihuahua. The characters were all poorly handled and developed. The plot is uninspired and a complete knockoff of Homeward Bound. The humor was just terrible, and overall, it felt like a cheap cash grab made for cute dog lovers. In the end, this is a movie that has more money than it does brains.
For me, it has to be The Last Airbender. The characters were really shallow and not interesting. The actors, with the exception of like 2 people, were all really wooden or uninteresting or just plain unlikable. And not to mention the white bending incident, which, although I wouldn't have cared if they were good, but the fact they were bad and the fact they were it just made the movie even more worse. Then the whole fact that the story tried to cram 26 episodes into one thing meant that the whole story suffered because there was not enough explanation going in, and the audience just couldn't care because the film itself couldn't care because it would just skip one thing and go to the other without real meat, without real connections. In short, this was a movie that just did not care. Otherwise, it wouldn't have won so many Razzies for it. And also, the 3D was awful. My brother wasted $40 on crappy, last-minute, money-getting 3D.
Suicide Club. It's a Japanese horror film. It's stupid. It's meaningless. It insults my intelligence. And quite frankly, if I met the director, I'd want to strangle him. It's that bad.
Well, Alvin and the Chipmunks and both of the sequels. I hate those 3 movies because those chipmunks are such troublemaking fuckers. And I also don't like any of the human characters. I don't think they are really likable either.
Well, in my personal opinion, the worst movie I've ever seen has to go to the American remake of Pulse. I hated that film because all of the characters were completely stupid, and it completely missed the point of the original film, which was mainly about how technology isolates people. They just throw that away for some story about ghosts. Overall, it was an awful remake and just an overall awful movie.
If I were to choose a worst movie ever, it would probably have to be the movie When Harry Met Sally. Yep, that sounds about right. Oh gosh, do I hate that movie. It is a romantic comedy between a man and a girl, and that automatically makes it gross. But not only that, the girl has an orgasm during the movie, and that scene makes me want to puke. I also don't like how the relationship develops. I mean, if I was in that movie, I wouldn't bother trying to get along with anyone or trying to build chemistry. That's a complete waste of time. I would just go up to Harry, pull down his pants, and brutally rape him. Oh, and I don't like the ending, where Harry and Sally get together. That right there is disgusting. I mean, who would want to fall in love with a woman? I find that extremely gross. To sum up my feelings, I think When Harry Met Sally is not a swell movie at all, and I would recommend Brokeback Mountain instead.
One of the worst movies that I've seen would be Tales from Earthsea, directed by Goro Miyazaki and released by Studio Ghibli. And it's just one of the most boring films I have seen. It's just so dull and just so slow. Like, yes, it's animated by Studio Ghibli. Yay, pretty pictures. The story does not mix well. It's boring, it's slow. I just wondered, why did this get greenlit? It's a very boring film. One of the worst, like probably the lowest point that like Ghibli has like released. And if you are a Ghibli fan and you are to see this movie and you never heard me say it, like even talk about it, it's a disappointing film. In short, it's disappointing, it's boring, that's it.